Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fourth episode of Halley's Children, the final episode in the Hastings arc. We are Streaming Rainbow, a group of game masters who tell stories together, and we're glad to have you join us. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe and get notifications of our upcoming projects. My name is Serafina Smith, and I'll be running the game today along with my players, Lara as the shape-shifting Ida, Cam as the unkillable Anush, and David as the psychic Hafthor. Y'all ready to play a game?
That was my
No,
best
let's
Professor
go.
X. That was my best Professor X impersonation.
Oh my god, we could.
I was thinking of him in the X-Men.
What's his name called? We could build one of those.
A wheelchair?
No.
I think.
The
Yeah, I
Mind
think it's
Palace?
pretty easy to make a wheelchair.
What's his little thing where he puts on the helmet and he sees everybody?
Oh yeah.
His
I don't
Mind
know.
Palace.
No. It's got a weird name. Not Amadeus.
Put it in the
I don't know.
comments.
Cerebro.
Get
Cerebro.
Cerebro.
You got
Yeah. All right.
Okay, now we're
End of
done
session.
interrupting.
We can go.
Sarah, go ahead.
We found out what we needed.
Please.
Mhm.
All right. It is the morning of October 14th, 1066. Last night, the Heroes of Hastings, which is what I've decided to call y'all, attempted to sneak into Hastings, but ran into a trap in the forest. There they fought and managed to overcome Robert and Pagan's small force of troops, capturing Pagan in the process. With the help of Mayor Eadman, they crept into town and freed the rest of the empowered townsfolk, all save Cerdic, who had been executed by William for witchcraft. While Ida led the others to safety, Anush and Hafthor went to Robert's house to get the iron sphere they call the orb, and were surprised when Robert simply, even glibly, offered it to them without violence. Now wary of what Robert might know, they retreated with the orb and returned to the hidden cove where Hafthor's ship awaited them all. Which leads us to now. This morning, while William's troops are preparing for the 8-mile march to meet with King Harold's army, a boat is sailing northward, full of former residents of Hastings, all changed in some way by the arrival of the fallen star. Everyone is talking of the future, of where they will go and what they will do. Otto reckons he'll buy a boat. He makes several offers on Hafthor's boat, in fact. And he wants to continue his life as a merchant trader. He's asked Eadman to partner with him in his endeavors. Osbert reckons he can find work in a mill, but he and his wife Winifred will have to work hard to rein in Veerman so his powers aren't spotted. Leofstan and Hild are uncertain of their futures. Pagan mostly grunts in his bonds. Hafthor, you're the owner of this boat. Where you choose to go, what you choose to do, determines the first step for everyone. So what are you doing?
I think Hafthor is going to call Ulf, Mayor Edmund, and Anush and Ida, and make sure that nobody else is in the very small below decks area. And then he's gonna start out by saying, "We are sailing to my home in Northumbria. I have some enemies there, but I don't know how many because they hide in the shadows. I've made mention of a Earl Oswulf and Mayor Edmund. If that sounds strange to you, as someone who would know who are the earls of the land, it's because it's a joke that has sort of gotten out of hand. Oswulf is not the earl by title, but he is the earl by fact. Marcon is a weak man who falls prey to whoever is in his ear, and Oswulf has been the one in his ear for 10 years now since my father died, poisoning him against me. My only suspicion is that he sees me as a threat. There's going to be a lot of things changing, hopefully we can get to Northumbria soon. But the Battle of Hastings, whenever we hear word, will dictate a lot. Macron may not be in power anymore. And if that's so, we may be able to operate in some anonymity. I, however, have no plans to stay in this land. I do not, I believe Robert is as big a threat, or sorry, not Robert. Oh my God,
William.
Yeah, no, Robert. Sorry, yeah, not William. Robert is as big a threat as I've ever faced, as I could ever imagine. Someone who knows every move you make, everything you do, and we don't know the scope of how far he can see in the future. And I can only hope that distance is our friend. I plan to go east somewhere and stop whenever Anush starts to go towards his land. I think I will accompany you eastward, and anybody who wants to hitch a ride on the boat is welcome. Mayor Idman, that's why I invited you. I want you to communicate that to your people. Whoever wants to come along, I'm willing to do what we can. Ida, same for you. But I would recommend find. I do not believe Robert is a man that would leave loose ends. I looked into his eyes and I saw inside of his mind. And it is dark and dangerous. And I do not believe you would be safe here. And I think that would come better from you to the people upstairs, you and Ida, than it would from me. So do as you will and take probably out of above table, maybe like 2 or 3 days, right? Yeah, we got about 2 days. And hopefully maybe a few days of peace to figure out on my land while we gather supplies, pack up, make decisions that need to be made. And then we could stick together, go our separate ways, but the offer's there. And he offers a hand to Mary Edmund.
He gives you his hand. This leaves us with the question, what do we do about Pagan?
I'm working on that.
I don't see how he can be trusted. So
What does he
whatever
want?
happens.
I from what I have been trying to push, I can temporarily, if I'm trying to push the limits of what I can do, I know I can temporarily take control of an individual's mind. Over the next 3 days and however long it takes, I'm going to try to make him permanently forget us. And worst case, he's going to be found alone, tied up 300 miles away from Robert, and hopefully with enough of a head start that we're all in different directions. I would rather not like to shed blood if we don't have to. Although I'm not sure anybody's ever going to see his blood shed again. Me and Ulf have done a little bit of poking, and nothing seems to be able to penetrate that skin.
Interesting. Are you sure about this?
We've tried our weapons, tried anything on board, and it seems to be it's like steel that bends. It doesn't. His skin is flexible, movable flesh steel that does not. There's no penetrating it. Stronger than steel. It's. You should take a look.
You have definitely piqued my curiosity. I think I might do this.
Wolf, help Anush.
Since they came back the night before, I'm sure Ida was filled in about what happened.
Hmm.
Can I roll some kind? I don't know if it would be notice or what it would be as I'm watching Anush, because he was acting insane. Like, I mean, the fact that he wouldn't leave and that he was like, that really is worrisome to her. And she does, or them, I guess she doesn't know what she is now. By folks, Ida has no idea what she is. By the way, we're gonna say they them. She's gonna switch back and forth, but they don't know. They can't understand why he would have acted that way. So I think that they're being very, like, they're being pretty focused. So I don't know if I would that be a notice. What kind of role would that be?
Either a notice or an empathy. It sounds
Um,
more like empathy to me.
I mean, it'd be great if it was notice because I don't have any empathy, but I'll do an empathy roll. Whatever you need it to be. So
Let's go with that then.
cool. It's mediocre. I literally evened out 2 pluses, 2 minuses. So
Probably don't get that much from Anush then.
just a little concerned. Also, how am I? So I had that moderate, the moderate consequences. How am I doing physically with that back, like my hip that was damaged?
Right. Let's see. How long does it take a moderate consequence? I should know this. I should know this, guys.
We're learning too.
I'm looking it up right now.
As a reminder, if I still have the moderate consequence, we called it "These hips absolutely lie," because my hip was damaged.
Right,
But I
right.
did also like cut myself and put like
Yeah,
try to heal
he Anush did a little bit of healing. Yeah.
Mm.
While this is happening, can I roll to do the same thing, but with my mind powers and try to be like so that Anush doesn't know I'm peeking in to see his state of mind?
Oh, that's sexy.
To what does my stat sheet say again? It's like glean information or something, right? You use empathy, investigate, or notice to glean information from people's minds.
Yeah. Ida, you're still wounded. You still have the consequence. It's going to take a little long, probably a couple days. So
Okay.
by the time you get to Northumbria, you should be healed.
Okay. Cool. Hopefully, no one on this boat wants to use my injury against me, sir.
I will heal you. It is okay. I take my blood, I put it on yours. It is good. Yes.
If you still bleed, I will put your blood into a vial and take it with me. It's not creepy at all.
I've never said that. I don't have vials. I don't know what that is.
But what about your bones?
But what about your bones?
She's not died yet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll that.
Okay.
Oh, so bad.
He's got like a weird headache now.
Notice it is a 4.
4. Yeah. You don't get much. He's kind of a blank right now.
I feel like the opposite, right? It would be like there's so much going on. It's like hearing too many things and I can't grab a strand.
It's a good interpretation.
Because I feel like Anush's brain is like that all the time.
You're
He's
not
in
wrong.
his mind palace.
I am in my mind. You might get trapped. Be careful.
Best way to get through a maze is just to cut through it.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to get out of a palace you're lost in is to break through a wall.
Yes, but where does that will lead?
Yeah, and so I think that's all I wanted to say. And maybe if the only other thing I would say to Ulf is, like, after everybody walked out, like, hey, make sure we don't really know these people, and we did what we could to save them. So make sure they're safe, even from each other. I'll keep an eye out too. I think through the night we can split the shifts. One of us should always be up, though.
Understood, my lord.
Don't I don't think I'm a lord anymore, so you probably don't have to call me that.
You will always be my lord.
All right.
Cute.
No.
That means a lot. We're gonna get you to your family, all right? Fuck. And then he goes back to trying to make cat horses.
I think also, as everything settled down, I think that Ida would have tried to talk to Mayor Edmund,
Mhm.
and because we have an accounting of everybody, like we know Serdic is gone, but we don't know where Mirwine is. Mirwine is, right?
Correct.
So I think Ida would have said, "Do do we know? Do we have any knowledge of what happened to Mirwine after whatever happened to her?"
I mean, it looked like she turned into liquid and just disappeared into the ground. What could happen after that? Nothing good.
Well, I mean, Serdic's hand, Serdic was wreathed in flame and the flame went away, so maybe there's been too much bad. I have to believe that she is still out there and will pull herself together. And maybe I just hopefully she waits until Robert is gone or everyone's gone and she can be safe. But do you want help talking to everybody? You're better at it than I am. I don't really know what I have to say. I'm not really anybody.
Just stand with me and we'll talk to everyone. Edmund goes out to talk to everyone. Says, Halfthor has offered us shelter with him for a while until we get away from here. We all know that Robert is a dangerous man and may turn his attention to following us. In order to be safe from him, I recommend that we all take up Halfthor on his offer. I cannot tell you what to do, but I hope that you will think about it. And they seem to take that into consideration. No one is immediately responding, but they're all thinking about it.
Yeah, and then I think he'll just explain to them that, like, yeah, the plan is we're gonna go back to his farm essentially, and as long as it's safe there, they're gonna stay there, um, up to probably about a week, ideally, to get as much as he can. And he probably has like a few other people that live on his land that are like Ulf, directly loyal, like lineage doesn't matter about the title, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably like maybe one more boat that's maybe smaller, but still maybe like for like smaller voyages, right? Just like 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And he would want, in an ideal world, he's planning, if he can, to get as much onto both of those and just go east. Just go as far east as he can to wherever Anush tells him to, and then maybe stick with Anush or split up. And that's it. He tells them that that's his general plan, and that he had the most interaction with Robert, and that I think he tries not to show it, and then that anybody who's like maybe Mayor Edmund or somebody who's like really seen a lot more political or like double speak recognizes that Hathor is, because Hathor was genuinely terrified when he popped up that over that window and saw him looking at him. He looked into the eyes of what is his worst nightmare, which is someone who doesn't even need to outthink him because he has all the answers already. So that no matter what move he makes, no matter where he goes, so now he's just doing what he thinks is the best idea, which is to just fucking run.
All right. So, what do you folks do with Pagan?
Oh, also, he also tells everybody there's not enough room below decks, so we have to shift and sleep. Sleep in shifts. Shift and sleeps. Shift and sleeps. Sleep in shifts. So the
Both.
first half of the morning is for everybody to sleep, and then at night the other half, and they could draw straws for whoever gets downstairs. But during the middle of the day, when everybody's awake, he asks Anush if he wants to be present.
Yes, I would like to be present.
Okay. And he doesn't like if Ida's around and hears and wants to be there, she can. He doesn't. I think he's
Oh,
like there's like something special, right, about when you've like gone into battle with someone where you I think as like a soldier, you immediately see someone who you like spilt blood with as like an equal. So he now sees Ida as like just another one of the people that.
yeah, Ida, absolutely. If there's any indication, I think that they've actually like you all are seeing a side of her right now that you haven't seen with Mayor Edmund here because he is an authority and has been somebody who's been an authority in her life for quite a while. So she's reverting into this way that she had to be, that she wasn't with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you acknowledge her or them and you look at them and like come on.
Yeah, he probably gives you a look like,
Yeah.
do
And
you
they
like
would just
you as
kind
well?
of like perk up and a little shake it off a little bit and then just follow. They wouldn't say anything. They they definitely trust you two more than anybody else right now. So, and Ulf, you three. Ulf is
I pass the
included.
roll, and I want to say in both of their heads, any communication is here. He, if he lives, if he escapes, uh, he can't know anything. Um, and then we go down, and we take the blindfold, or not the blindfold, but he probably has his ears plugged. Well, for thematic purposes, because we're on a boat, we'll say his ears are plugged with wax.
Okay.
And not a blindfold, but a hood. It's like a hood on.
Mm-hmm.
This is very like taken. Um,
He's a 19-year-old girl in Eastern Europe.
yeah,
Can't you
and
see that?
so the Hathor walks up, and again, like wordlessly, just pulls a knife from somewhere you didn't think a knife would be able to come out of, in one of his like furry coats. Um,
Where would
and
I hold my weapons?
how would I hold my weapons? And he just kind of like holds it up to Anush to like go for it.
You're so good at stabbing.
I
Oh yeah.
I believe, based on what we know about you, I don't need this, and I kind of just tap it on his head.
He looks at you. He's not talking. He's just sort of staring you down.
What do you want? Are you okay? Do you need any water, food?
Could do with some.
And after
And
that,
then I look at Oof then, and I'll give him the get him some cured herring, some salted fish, and
after you have been fed and watered, Parrish, why do you follow that man?
He's my lord.
What does that
uh,
mean, your lord?
during while he's asking these questions, I want to get the more dynamic answer of what his brain is thinking and processing as Anush asked that. Hell yeah, that's good. +2 to a great makes it a fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's really
I don't care if he knows. I want to pry into his brain.
all right. So we'll keep that roll for the rest of the interrogation. Um, so you're deep in his brain, and his response to Anush just then was pretty straight from his brain, um, except without the addition of obviously you idiot. What what else would I do?
Yeah, I guess more. It's like, do I feel fondness? Like he has a fondness for Robert, or it's literally just like I
No,
was
he's scared of
born
Robert.
and I serve him. Okay, cool, perfect. That's yeah. So it's more of a fear dynamic. Got it. Okay.
Do you think that he will save you?
He looks at you like he feels like you're threatening him, and he's just sort of trying to stare you down and look like the tougher man.
I
And
do
he
not
says,
mean from us, but you see what is happening. Do you still believe your God is on your side?
I don't know shit about God.
Is that not
All I
what a
know,
lord is? No? Someone who has been appointed from a higher power, who has been appointed from a higher power? Yes?
yeah,
You think
that's what they
about these
say.
things? Or do you just follow blindly because you are scared?
I'm not scared of nothing.
Are you very sure
He's
about
scared.
that? You may put up a
Um,
brave
I
face,
Hathor,
Parrish.
when he says I'm not afraid of anything, says into his mind, you should be very afraid of what I could do to you.
His eyes
Ida,
dart directly to you, and he's focused on you now.
Ida says as loud as she can to Halfthor, find out what I can turn into to really scare him.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, I'll
Just
try
that's
to.
she's gonna wait. She's gonna wait. She's gonna sit back and she's just this
Wait, you say that out loud, or you try to
she's trying to
that?
think it.
Got
Yeah,
it, got it. Because you said say it as loud as you can. So
she
right.
yeah say
But
it in the
I
head.
put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It
she's
gets really confusing when we're doing the.
think loudly. She's going to think loudly at you, and
I
uh,
say turn into a phoenix, because then we can be Jean Grey and Professor X. No, I'm sorry.
cute.
Yeah, I will try to. I'll try to. I like Mystique too, though. That's fine. I'll try to see what he's afraid of. See if there's a person, if the fear, because obviously turning into Robert, or if there's a thing. I don't know if he's afraid of wolves, or there was a memory. If I can reach and find a memory of a dog that chased him when he was a kid or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was actually he's been afraid of snakes since he was young.
Parrish, I do not
He
wish
puts
to
a.
scare you. No, I wish to enlighten you. Because right now, you do not do things for yourself.
Yeah, I think. Well, Anush is saying that Hathor communicates to Ida it's a snake, um, and puts in her brain 2D pictures of what's the big snake from the Norse mythology?
I don't.
Jotun.
Ouroboros?
Jotun. No, Jotun is a place. But anyways, that big snake. But then also says to her, "Hey," says to them, sorry. I
Jormungandr.
think that's it. Jormungandr. I knew it was a J starting. Um, and but he says to you to like hold off a little bit. I think he is afraid / dislikes Robert enough that we might be fine if we just give him an opportunity at like a new start. I don't think any of us liked the lives we were living, including this guy.
You like the
She'll
life you were living.
do you? She will very like imperceptibly like give a nod and just again she's just this demure little woman in the corner. So what can she do?
Mm-hmm.
Robert might be able to see things, but the reach he has, it is not as far as we can go. You have a chance now to think for yourself. What do you choose?
I don't know where I could go.
Well, if you go back there, he will have you
In
kill
his
children.
brain, Halfthor says wherever you want.
Do you know where I'm from? The
No.
prosperous land. A land where people think freely, where you're given resources to do things you can barely dream of. If you want, I can take you there.
Why would you take me there?
Because you are human. You do not deserve this. You deserve to do what you wish.
He
And
looked.
I think Halfthor speaks now and says, "We don't want to harm you, but just as you did as you were ordered and had to save yourself from Robert, I'll do what I have to protect the people on this boat, including myself. And we want to offer you an opportunity to you can go wherever you want, or you can come with us, as long as you don't go back to finding Robert and trying to tell him where we're going to go." And then in his head, pass the check, I say, because I will find out the truth. There are no secrets you can keep from me.
All right. Then look in my head. And he sort of opens himself up to you. Um, not not that he needed to, because you are deep in there, but as far as he knows, he's opening himself up to you. Um, and he harbors some resentment towards you for sure.
Yeah, because I
But
whooped his ass.
uh, but his real loyalty, when he comes down to it, is to himself, and he is um, not thinking about going back to Robert at all. He's thinking of, what do I do? Maybe I go into the army elsewhere, something like that.
Yeah. I think with that, he Hafthor will try to communicate that to Anush and to Ida, and then ask them. I think it's fine to let him go. I don't think he knows anything, and that I think he's as much of a threat as anybody else on this boat.
If you
Um,
are a practical man, Parrish, let me offer you this instead of dreams and ideologies. Work for me. You're strong. You can protect. I might need that where I am going.
You offer me a
throw
job.
in.
Yes.
Could always use more fighting men on this boat. I don't know if you heard what happened to Alfred.
Oh, I heard.
So spots opened up.
I don't know much about Saracens, but
You know how to live things, no? You know how to
yeah,
eat, drink wines.
yeah.
That is all you need to
Definitely,
know.
definitely know you know how to swing a sword.
Also,
And
no
I'll
one here understands Saracens. He's very confusing. He says a lot of things that make no sense.
Everything I say makes sense. In time.
in Pagan's head, he says, "No, it doesn't."
Telepathically shading.
I can't respond because I didn't hear you say it.
Half-door shady. It's a messy bit.
Out loud, Ida says, no, it doesn't.
It does. You say, I say one thing, maybe a year later, maybe 2 days later. You understand what I mean?
No, I don't.
Then
That's the
wait.
whole thing.
Then wait.
A broken sundial is right twice a day.
Mhm.
Broken
Yes.
sundial.
And right,
That's also
very
not
more
true. It
times
doesn't make
during the
any
year.
sense. Yeah, I say so if you guys are, and then telepathically he says to them, "I'm going to let him go if you're good with it."
Of course, let him go.
Okay. And then I go up to probably explain that to Mayor Edmund, and like telepathically to Ulf say, just keep a close eye, but I think he's fine. And then I think over the next 2 days, he probably tries to takes a concerted effort to try to teach him. Obviously, if we want to run more scenes, like I don't want to cut that short. I'm just saying over the next 2 days, he probably takes time to try to teach him some sailor's knots and how to treat the skins and stuff with the animal fat to make them waterproof and all that kind of stuff.
How to carve a
Mend
piece of wood
nets.
into a cat or a
Yeah,
horse.
Hathor gets unreasonably mad that Pagan is really good at woodwork, like whittling. It's like, all right.
See, this is a
And
cat. This is a cat.
it's the same thing. They look the same. This one and this one look. Weirmund, come here. Which one of these would you buy for a child?
Veerman takes both of them and plays with them.
See, they're the
Okay,
same.
okay.
Out of
Veerman,
the hands.
which one is a cat and which one is a horse?
This one's a cat and this one's a horse. No. This one's a horse and this one's a wolf.
I like the way you think.
See, it's all the same. Work the same. So you're not better at it than me, Pagan.
I do not.
And then Hathor makes a note that he's going to become really fucking good at woodworking. He can't lose this.
You
He
say
can't
that,
be undermined by the person who kind of works for him, and Anoush.
you say that I don't make any sense, but these words that you're saying, they will never make sense.
All right. So you release Pagan, and he sets about to making himself useful, and he takes your offer of employment, Anoush.
Wait, your name is Pagan? I've been calling you Paris this entire time.
Listen, I didn't want to say anything because I thought it was your accent.
I thought it was your accent too, to be honest.
Oh no, I just got your name wrong. I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, I knew it was wrong, but I just thought it was funny.
You did try to kill me though, so it's okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like one of those things,
No,
if me and Anoush were fighting and we didn't like each other, I'd call him like Ash Noosh.
no, I like this man. I just didn't think.
Ass Noosh.
Your
Ass
names are
Noosh?
very weird. They mean one thing, and then you say them as a name. Like
All right, that's
Pagan is
racist.
other thing. Parish is another thing. It just starts with P. It's my brain.
Do we all look the same to you, Anoush?
No, you don't. You're very different people. It is just the names they are hard. This is not my first, second, or third language.
Mm.
Jeez, how many languages do you speak?
Yes,
Could you teach me some?
of course.
I speak Latin,
Oh, that is
and
easy.
I
Once you know that, you know
know
everything else.
I know a little bit of Greek, but
Once you know
I could
that,
get
you know
better.
everything else. Yes,
Yeah, let's work on that.
of course, of course.
All right. A couple of days later, you get up to Northumbria, make a trip to your farm, Hafthor.
Yeah, I think at that he's gonna tell Ulf, um, we need to go to the Earl and figure out what the fuck's going on. So I don't know what the name of the city is, but there's like a nearby whatever, right, where the Earl's seat is, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Umbria. I don't know, but he goes and he wants to figure out. I think he's gonna go dressed completely not like himself, and he's hoping that with his haircut, and again he'll like dirty his hair a bunch, and he'll do the same with Ulf, right? He'll just kind of like dirty it and maybe put like I'd like smash some like blackberries or something into the hair and then wash it out just to give it like a quick stain to like because Ulf is like blonder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's gonna be hard because there's not very many people that are like 6'7" in this area.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
so
there's a
yeah, I
fair
think he
gaming
leaves Ulf. I
population.
think he goes by himself, and is like, I need to find out what's going on. And he's gonna try to go see if he could listen to like a town crier or go to the local house because I think the way I imagine it is his estate is like just far enough out. It's like those people that are like, I'm going into town today, right? Like they live like just far enough to like it's a trip to go to the into town, but not like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to find out if he can go to like the public house or if there's like a town crier or what's going on with what happened with the Battle of Hastings. He needs to find out that first
Mm-hmm.
because if
You
William was defeated, the status quo is there. But if William lived up to his name and conquered, um, Hafthor is thinking there might be enough chaos for him to kill Oswald.
you quickly learn that the Battle of Hastings was won in William's favor, and they are proceeding to London to continue the conquest of England.
Okay. Does he know if Marcon is gonna mobilize his against William? Is he start thinking of defecting? Or do I need a roll to try to find that out? If I can find, so can I go to the? Can we maybe like roll an empathy roll to see if I have any friends?
Contacts.
And see if I can contact someone.
Oh, you don't need to roll contacts for this. This is big news. Morcar and his brother are
More
already
cars.
headed to London to set their sister. And if I probably will butcher this Anglo-Saxon name, Eilgith, uh, Harold's widow,
Got it.
to raise her to
An
the
army.
throne if possible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then knowing that Oswulf is an older man who's not is a politico, not a military guy, is he still in town?
Yes, he's acting for Morcar while Morcar is gone.
Okay. Hafthor hurries back and again tries to like not be seen by anybody. At like little amount of people as possible.
Okay.
Hoping that the bustle of mobilizing armies and people I don't know, having existential crises because the person they thought God put on the throne is now dead. And then the person that guy picked to be the next person that God put on the throne is also dead.
It's a rough time for English monarchy.
Yeah. Is it ever not a rough time? I feel
You make
like
a
we
good
had
point.
70 years of old Lizzie and people were like, oh, the monarchy's stable. And it's like, no, it's fucking never been. Even her dad was only on the throne because the brother advocated and ran off with some
Divorcee, an
Yeah.
American.
Yeah,
Mm.
I was trying to think of a way to not be sexist and say like the way that I've heard her described, and I'm like, there's not one.
A divorced
She's just
American.
a
That's all
woman.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's always like salacious. People are always like a scandalous woman or like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just watched The Crown too much while my
That's
wife's watching Fully
Americans.
Clothed.
That's
Anyways, yeah. So I scurry back and
Mhm.
I tell Oswulf, and I come back in or to Oswulf. I come back in. I tell Ulf, we're gonna kill him.
At last.
And then I explain my plan to Ida and Anush. And I say, Anush, maybe you should stay here, but there might be books in the palace.
Hmm.
I know that there's something of a library if you want to take a look and grab some stuff. But we're going to go run a secret mission.
Do you mind if I take Pagan with us? He's been studying with me. I believe I can trust him.
You trust him?
I do.
All right. I trust you.
I'm ready if he does something.
I don't think he will.
I actually think that will be very helpful to get into behind a locked door and open it.
Ooh.
Yes. How
And let
long
us
did
in.
it take us to get here?
3 days.
It's like
During those 3 days, working with Hathorn, like learning like what languages he wants to learn on, I think I have also learned what languages he doesn't know.
Hmm.
And I have been working with Pagan to like come up with like a secret code, a secret language, just like really starting like the groundwork for that.
Real villain energy right
son
here.
of a bitch.
You read minds, dude.
Ida would have in those 3 days would have asked Anush to teach her how to read.
Oh my god, yes.
She can't read or write.
Absolutely yes. 100%.
I had to like take you down. Like I had to like you have some major villain energy right now, and I had to make you sweet again. So there you go.
Yes, of course, Ida. I will absolutely teach you anything you want.
Dude, I can't wait until it's like the year 2250 of the like
Spoilers,
100th
spoilers,
sighting of
spoilers.
Haley's Comet, and it's just
We gotta get
Hathor
this.
and Anush doing battle.
You gotta get this. Nobody knows what the hell I've got. Time out.
Sorry,
Amazing.
we could cut that out.
No, we're not gonna.
No.
So says the editor. You can clap all you want. I'm not editing that shit.
No, clap! It's supposed to happen. Go magic. Where are you?
I clap.
Suddenly
I do
fairies
believe
are
in
alive
fairies.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Sarah and I
do
both
believe
made the same joke. Amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Gosh, they just want attention, don't they? I bet you Tinkerbell didn't really die. She was just being dramatic.
Oh, I hate
She's just being
Tinkerbell.
mad
Pardon me on
dramatic.
welcome to my TED talk about how much I hate Tinkerbell.
I
Anyway,
love
go on.
Tinkerbell, but she's such a fake creature.
She's
a little fake folk. Okay.
murderer. Okay, go on.
So I would imagine that Hathor would know the like procedures and whatever, being one of the like sworn men, the lords of Northumbria. The like side exits or like the quick getaway to like the stables if they needed to get someone out like fast.
Hmm.
And I would like to, as quickly and quietly as possible, with as little bloodshed, get into the castle. So I don't know. So whatever your layout is, whatever that like secret exit he knows, we're gonna try and get in there.
Oh my gosh,
Okay.
they've all been mind blasted.
That's telekinesis, Kyle. Sorry, that's a Tenacious D reference.
All right. I'm not going to bog us down with a lot of rolls this session. So you managed to get into the castle through a secret entrance and are able to get into Morkar's chambers, which is where Oswulf is setting camp at the moment?
I think I would like to hold on to people, hold on to people, tell people give everybody the in the tunnel, reach into more cars or Oswald's brain. 1 second. Yep, still good. And say, does your ambition know no bounds? Just because you hold his title temporarily does not mean you should be in his quarters. And I want him to 100% know it's me.
As soon as you make that statement into his brain, he wakes, and he was napping. He wakes and is looking around for you, and you can see in his mind the image that comes up when he hears you is the image of your farm and the spikes and the heads of the people that served you.
Oh. Oh.
I rolled a 3 plus a great. So what's that?
Epic.
I rolled an epic, and I want to paralyze him. Essentially take him over, but just I don't want to do anything with him. I just want him to be stuck.
Oh, he rolled for shit. Okay. So yes, you completely seize his brain up, and he's frozen and terrified.
And then I come out of the shadows. And I would imagine there's unlit candles if he was napping.
Mm-hmm. You are his
and
sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, that is literally exactly the energy I was going for. And I spark up and light these candles, and I take one, right, holding it right at chest level, seeing myself through his own eyes as the light comes up and illuminates this mud-covered, angry man who has always been powerless in this fight. And I sit right at the edge of his bed, and I put the candle there. And I say to him, no matter what you think you've done to me, no matter all the machinations, in the end, I am your destruction. And then I try to imagine myself twisting and just severing his brainstem. I want to use, if it's the telekinesis, it's the telekinesis, and if it's the whatever, and I want to try to do it again, at his brainstem. So if there's activity left, he's just like a paraplegic vegetable.
Hashtag who's the villain now?
Not Ida. Ida's all.
+2.
I'm gonna read.
To a great is fantastic, not epic.
I'm gonna better myself.
Yeah, I mean, you already had him, so it is not a problem for you to go ahead and
then I try to get whatever I can, any information, if there's anything left, anything important. And then Halfthor says, I need to go. And he starts bawling his eyes out as he sprints back to his farm, thinking about the lives that he lost. And then he tells anything that is important is in this chamber. Get what you need. I need to go.
I'm gonna go shopping. When I take medical instruments, I want to take books, scrolls. They probably don't have anything great, but
yeah, they don't have a really great library, and their physician is
ooh,
he's
ooh. What is that? The stick? You can.
Yeah, it's the healing
Ulf,
stick.
Ulf
No.
says, I think those are leeches.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness. It is. Never mind. They don't.
You have to bleed the evil humors out of the body. That's how it works.
No, I just. That is a up and coming practice. It is. Nobody knows about that yet. That is like.
He's he's a pioneer.
I just told you about that like a week ago. I don't think he knows what that means. These are just. I think they
His
might be pets.
pet leeches?
I think he has pet leeches.
Cute.
Like that was a theory I was just racking around in my head. I don't. It's very good of you for paying attention, but oh no, I don't know what he's doing.
I think Ida actually finds some clothes. I think she like goes through to find something that is like going into other rooms, like finding like because she's like, I'm not gonna wear anything that this very wealthy person would be wearing, but like a page, like finding something that's more plain, but something also that she can disguise. So more male presenting, more of the area.
Yeah, clothes are thicker and
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a different style.
Yeah, for sure. You managed to get yourself a little outfit.
She dresses up. It's kind of she's like, I'm wearing breeches. It's very strange. Pants. Weird.
Nice.
So weird. Talk about pioneer. You're like fucking 200 years ahead of the curve, right? 400?
Maybe.
I think it was like 1400s France. That's like the first thing
The
I can
real
remember.
pants.
Women wearing pants.
Something. Whatever dudes wear. They're not walking around in skirts, are they?
No. I'm saying women wearing pants.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're like
Oh,
female
100%. Yeah.
them pants. That's way ahead of the curve. No, yeah.
I gotta be sneaky.
They had breeches or whatever
Yeah.
stupid. I don't know. I don't know what those are called.
Tunics.
Dungaroos? No,
That's
They're not
that's a
hungry.
cookie with
jeans.
icing.
Dunkaroos.
That's Dunkaroos.
Yes. And women wore them all the time in the 11th century.
Mhm.
The cookies.
Oh yeah, so obviously, yeah, Hathor's not going back to his camp, wherever they like docked to like stay out of sight. He's going to the farm to see if his worst fear was actualized.
I
You
think
find
I was gonna say
yeah.
I think Ida's like, I don't know what she kind of feels a little bit abandoned, so she looks at Anoush and like back to the
Yeah, he made Ulf stay with you guys.
back to the camp. Did Ulf go? Because Ulf didn't go because he
Oh, that's
looked
right. Ulf
to
didn't. Oh no, he went at night. He just didn't go during the day because he's 6'7". But he
got
went
it.
with you.
Okay.
He went with us at night.
Okay, got it. Okay. So yeah, it's just like, okay, I guess back to the camp. What is happening? So,
don't worry, I'll protect you.
thanks. Okay.
All right. Hathor, you arrive at your place of residence and find it very much as the thoughts of Oswulf depicted them. There's not a sign saying, thus perish traitors, but there might as well be.
And his wife's up there.
Yes.
I think for the first time, Hathor, I don't think we ever really talked about his age.
Right.
About 26 or 27, right? That's what we talked about in the. And even though he was like forced into this marriage, he had attained a happy. Like they had an agreement, you know. It's like it's not what either of us wanted, but we're here and we'll make the best of it. And in that moment, he learns that even though he probably never really had romantic feelings for her, he loved his wife. And that he absolutely knows that she didn't deserve this, even if he didn't love her. And he feels a level of loss. And it's weird to him because even though he was much closer to his father and the way his father died was tragic and he felt betrayed and angry and grief and all that, he feels a greater loss at seeing his wife and an unimaginable one at his children. And he I think he just I think it's like loud, angry, like screaming at the universe, right? I think he doesn't believe in the gods anymore. I think it's something breaks in him where he says there can't be gods because if they have the power to give us these power, to send this rock and to affect the world the way they did and change my life, they wouldn't allow this to happen. They wouldn't have allowed Oswulf to gain power, and that no god could exist in a world where this evil also exists. And then just really lets out an intense amount of grief and built up um, tension, anger. Uh, Probably gathers whatever he can throw on his back. There's probably another like small chest of like goods if they didn't find it. I don't know if you want to roll for that. We can figure that out later.
No.
Yeah, because these people, always, you know what I mean. Like the lords always have the like somewhere some random hole that they dug that's like their reserve
Right.
um, of just like silver cups and random gold, whatever little they could get a hold of, anything valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he takes uh, uh, one of the toys, just like a stuffed like canvas sack, right? Like a canvas doll
Mm-hmm.
toy, and then takes the something of his wife's uh, and burns everything and leaves. Probably comes back with like a horse, or probably 3 horses if he has any on the land, or if that's all gone, then it's all gone. But he just burns everything down and comes buries his family for sure,
Okay.
and probably by like a tree or something on the land, something that he marks so that if he ever comes back, and he comes back like I don't know, probably close to sunrise, and immediately says to whoever's awake to Ulf, um, "I'll be on the boat. We need to leave now."
All right. Take off, and you have said that you were wishing to.
Oh yeah. No, he says like I'll be on the boat. We're gonna leave. Like tell everyone when they wake up.
Right. Right.
Like I think he's just gonna go crash out in his little hammock, and whenever he wakes up in probably 3 or 4 hours, well, he's like, we're setting sail. He tells Ulf to tell everybody when he wakes up, we're leaving. So if you're coming, get on the boat, and if you're not, good luck.
Understood. All right. So now we're following Anush's goals. So Anush, you've gotten at least some of what brought you here. You're empowered. You're in possession of the orb. You have definitely explored the mystery of Hastings. But your original goal to find something that will help defeat the Seljuk Turks, I don't know if you found that. What is your next step?
No, no, I don't think I did. But I think observing all of this, I have found that something more important is happening. And all the war across the sea, it has shown me that power shifts quite a bit. And there is a aspiring polymath that I want to talk to. He sets his sights to the stars, and I think the Turks they have favored him. Hmm. Maybe it would be good to move towards him. He's about the same age as me. Um, he goes by the name of Umar.
Umar?
Umar, yes. He's younger, but very bright. And I think with my help, he might be able to build a temple to these stars. Might take a while, but it might be something that instead of helping to prevent the occupancy of the Turks, it might be able to shelter ourselves from their persecution. And I definitely think with Pagan's help and strength, I might be able to get it done safely. By temple, I do mean something that can reach out and see the stars, like an observatory.
Mm-hmm.
And I think alongside studying this orb and trying to figure out when the next time maybe this kind of event might happen, just to be ahead of it. I think I am also teaching Parrish things and whatever the hell his name is. It is hard to do this. He has very many names in my head. Pagans. I think even before we get off the boat, I've taught Pagan just a little bit of um, like uh, like old Sanskrit mixed with a little like burgeoning like Arabic, and Persian, and I just teach him 3 words: don't trust Hathor.
I mean, Hathor's a name. It's not.
It means something, like the god of the half of the god. Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ah, well,
You son of a bitch.
we are going to we are going to be sailing to my home to gather supplies and make a journey north. But anybody who wants to come is more than willing. We might be able to figure out what is happening to us together.
All right.
I don't have
Did you say
any.
make a journey north?
Uh, North of the Persian Empire, yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, you know, fucking Greenland or like.
No. A few years ago, they explored the Caspian Sea, so
Yeah.
maybe
We're gonna
move
find
around there.
Santa.
I do not know who that is. Like, who's this? What is his name? You speak?
I have a vision of a man in red with lots of penguins and little people.
Lots of penguin, as
Penguins?
Santa Claus is known.
Is Santa known as like are
Claim
penguins part of his
all I'm
iconography?
thinking are those like claymation Christmas movies that always have at least a penguin in it.
Whenever I think of penguins, I think of that Mario game where you can throw them off the edge of the ice. Super Mario 64
Hell
Mm,
yeah.
Yeah.
or Mario, yeah.
video games,
Um
yes.
yeah.
That
Beep
was
boops. Got it.
yes.
Beep boop. Beep boop. Okay. I think as Anush says that, Ida is just kind of looking between the two of them. Fuck Pagan. Like she's like, man, I don't like you. Like don't trust you. You're scary. I do not like you. But she is looking between the two of these friends that she's made, and I don't have anywhere else to go, so I will go wherever.
Either
I also do say before when I before we went, before we actually left, I think that she was like waiting for Halfthor to wake up with 2 little cups of mead, and he wakes up and she hands one to him and just says, "For the fallen."
Mm.
Because she's also terrified of what she has lost, because her brother was in a battle and she will never know if he survived or not. That will always be an unanswered question. So she's kind of saying goodbye to her family as well. But that happened. That was just a moment, and then she was like, "I will never speak of this again." Good. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Halfthor says anything. He just raises the glass too, and then
Yeah.
drinks it probably faster than you think he should.
And then drive a boat.
Ida, it is good to my heart that you would accompany us. You have sparked something inside of me. A project I want to work on. When what I am was able to heal you, I began to think, what if all of our, as you say, gifts could be put to similar uses?
Am I right there? Is Halfthor right
You
there?
could be here, yes. Come, Haftor, come, yes. I see you're
Haftor's
still
drunk.
sleeping in bed. It is early in the morning. I know you don't like to get up.
Halfthor's drunk already. He drank 2 more cups of mead while he was getting dressed.
My dear friend,
Came up.
you do not seem to be yourself.
And you seem too much like yourself.
I understand both of you have had losses in this, and mine are yet to be seen.
What was that you were saying to our dear friend Ida?
I was saying that she has inspired me. When I have healed her in the way I did, I am wondering if we use the rest of our lives to better the lives of others, we can use what is inside of us to do unimaginable things. I do not know yet how to contain it, but I think it is something we can all figure out together. If you will join us, Hafthor, I do believe your intentions lie somewhere else.
I don't think it's a bad idea to stay together and learn what is happening to us.
It has been my life's work up to this point.
I have no more home, so I'll go where the wind takes me.
Well, my
But I
friend.
will say,
Yes?
are the things that we could do with our powers and our blood unimaginable? Or have you already imagined what you can do with them?
I do not think I am able to imagine all. I think that is left to be seen. If you would like to take a look, you can.
Ida is missing every single bit of subtext here. She's like, right, I can't imagine either.
And then in your brain. Okay, we're good. I thought there was like one more negative, and I was like, no, I hate it when I try to talk to people in simple common tongue and it doesn't work. In your brain, you hear, well, we have the rest of our lives to figure it out. And then he says aloud to Ulf, casting off in 30 minutes. The tide is with us. And then I think to anybody who's not going to come, who's deciding they're not going to, between his like little stash that he had at the house and what he has, like very much smaller one, maybe the smaller one on the boat. He tries to hand out like a cup or like a candlestick or whatever to like whoever's not staying as groups and being like, best of luck.
Yeah, you and Wolf and Pagan and Ida and Anush are pretty much going to be going it alone. Everyone else is departing.
Was
All right, yeah, he just hands out a bunch of his wealth then. Probably like what 30% or so I'd probably say was in the thing.
Mhm.
So I don't know, however much a
Sure.
small lord would have, he gives that and says to them as a group first, right? We're all bonded forever by what we experienced together. If ever in life our paths cross again, you have a brother in me.
Hmm.
And then he goes back below decks once we cast off.
was
All right.
was Otto
And he
wanting to
just
go
goes,
along as well, as since he's a sailor, or was he gonna stay back?
Otto and Edmund are going to make their own way.
Got it. Okay.
All right, you cast off. You go across the sea. Anush, you guide them to the place where you're wanting to start your new temple.
Yes. I do not know if I will start it there, but the plans can be made. Plans can always be made.
Certainly.
where is that?
Uh, it is unknown now. It is the hopefully in Ifahan, but you know, depends who's in
Isfahan?
power.
So like Iran?
Yeah, it's still in like the Persian Empire, but it is like it.
Well, yeah, sorry, current day Iran, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Or I don't. Sorry,
It's
I
like
am wading into a geopolitical conversation. I am
Not prepared for.
wildly out of, like, not prepared for. Because the only thing I'm thinking logistically is how we would get there, right? So we would have to come down. God, this is like weeks. This is a
yeah, we'd have to definitely travel
long
by
trip.
like foot, but it like northeast, like modern day Iran.
Yeah, so we'd probably that's why this is important. So would we come somewhere? Would you say like current day Lebanon?
Yeah, ain't
Or I
nothing
guess
wrong about
yeah,
that.
because you'd have to come through the Mediterranean, right? You'd have to go through the Gibraltar Pass, Malta. You see some cool stuff. Because whenever we hit the first place, uh, Halfthor dips.
Oh,
Jeez.
lot of adventures to be had.
Mm.
Edith.
No notes. He leaves. He just tells Halfthor, or he tells Ulf. He tells Ulf on the whole ride and everything. If anything ever happens to me, split. You guys could split the wealth. And then in wherever it is, Lebanon or Jerusalem or wherever we end up hitting, he tries to sneak away after the first night.
Okay.
CAT.
See,
Cat.
it is very good. Yes, yes, very good. Cat. As he's trying to sneak away, do you think I notice him?
You could roll it. Let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, what are we
I don't mind.
Yeah,
If
Edith
it
wants to
happens, it
roll as
happens,
well.
right?
Notice?
Yeah, I think we've established that Halfthor and Anush are both night owls. So if Halfthor might have assumed he was already asleep or something. Oh, you for sure notice.
I had a good
What is the roll?
Terrible.
Is it
notice roll.
invested notice? Oh
Yeah.
wow,
No.
that is. It's just on the nose there. I also got good.
You're
Oh yeah,
two
you guys for
people.
sure. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's still drunk. He's just louder than he thinks he's just trying to get it. And yeah, he's just leaving whatever the public house or whatever he's trying to get out. He's got his bag packed.
Ida, it's been a long journey, so it's just more and more time, and these are her brothers now. Ida doesn't hesitate. She runs and pulls him into the biggest hug she can and just says, "Be safe," and then walks away because she's gonna start crying and she's not she's not okay with showing that
And I
they are.
think An- Anoush is very like distanced, like knowing that you're gonna leave. Hafthor, you saved us. I hope you know this. We can only go on because of you. Do not lose that.
In your head, he says, I did save you, and I'll save Ida again if I need to. And then he says to Anoush, good luck on your journeys. Maybe we'll cross paths again.
He looks very confused.
I think over the 3 weeks when he saw Anoush's, I think he saw in Anoush what he saw in Robert.
Mm.
I think he saw someone who sees the potential
Mm-hmm.
and thinks if this person has just as much ambition, right, in that way, he's very. Hathor just wants to fuck off, right? Like Hathor doesn't want power. Hathor doesn't want. He just wanted to like own his farm, and so anybody that ambitious he's inherently. I don't think it's antagonistic yet, but
Yeah.
he is very much so telling Anoush like, I see you.
Uh-huh. I don't think he sees it though.
Yeah.
I think he's just
Yeah,
confused.
I think he just sees like I see like who you are.
Oh yeah, I don't think Anoush
I don't.
sees who Anoush is yet.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't think Anoush is necessarily bad, but he sees the potential for it
Mm-hmm.
and is worried about Ida, but it's also in such a place of grief that he feels functionally useless. And then he probably says to Ida one last thing. He's like, "Tell Ulf it's not his fault. To not blame himself."
You left Ulf?
Yeah, I'm leaving Ulf.
Oh no.
I will.
Oh,
And he'll
poor
protect you.
buddy.
Because Anoush can't do anything. And then
What about Parrish?
that was in your.
Do you see anything? Do you see anything to Parrish? I mean, Pagan.
That was in your head.
Pagan Parish? Pagan Parish? The Parish of Pagan?
I don't think Pagan. I think Pagan's out. I think Pagan's snoring and Oof snoring.
He's like the sleep of
synchronized.
someone who truly cannot give a fuck.
Or be hurt. Just the most peaceful man.
Everything will be fine. I can't be injured at all. That's terrifying. I just realized the invulnerable man with the man who can't die.
Off the bat.
Worrisome.
Just gotta get him off the bat.
Yeah.
All right. You separate there then, and Hafthor goes one way, and Ushanita go another.
To give a general direction, Hafthor goes north.
It's colder up there. He doesn't like the hot.
He doesn't like
wants
the
to
hot.
go back.
It's got so hot.
He wants to go back to the cold.
Maybe he's Santa. He's the
He
Santa.
becomes
He's
Santa.
the Santa all along.
Hated the trip across the Mediterranean. He doesn't like olives.
They're so good. They're so good.
He thinks feta is disgusting.
Why you think that? No.
We have a
how they
reverse
meant to
scene
get it,
of what Hafthor did to Anoush with the rye bread and the salted fish.
Literally, exactly. It's like, why is this bread flat? Where's the yeast?
The oldest of the cheeses. It is so good.
This specific cheese, this one, it's the first cheese.
Yes. It is the 300 years ago they made this cheese. It is
It's tribal cheese.
very good.
Rival cheese, band name.
It's like, have you ever heard of those restaurants in Mexico that have mole that's like literally 200 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Oh shit, it is the oldest cheese in recorded history.
Yeah.
I was just making that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You knew that in your genetics. Your DNA knew that.
My dad taught me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. So you and Pagan and two of you get to where you're wanting to be. Do you want to talk about what you're doing at first, or do you want to skip on to the days passing?
I Well, I have a little friend if we're going to where I live,
Mm-hmm.
right? I kind of want to check in with him and kind of see how my brothers are doing.
Okay.
I
Is
think Ida has been observing and has been spending a lot of time watching people, and to be safe has turned into some amalgamation of uh, somebody that would fit in. So a male presenting uh, person, and would have been like, Anush, what I can't. What should I be called? You can't call me Ida.
what you like to be called?
I don't know. I what do and I change into this like whenever you're off in like La La Land, I sit and like watch people and like take it all in. So you have no idea I've been doing this, but yeah, I'm like, who is this person? And I become that person.
Hmm, that is scary as shit.
Who is
You
who
told their
what
lives, yes.
I don't
I love it.
not I'm not a specific person. I'm a like the like olive eyes and like all the like it's like also the skin tone. She's like, I'm
Hmm.
so dark. This is crazy.
There is you say if you're looking for a name, maybe have one that I have one. He's a great researcher of old. Uh, and here we give you names by your lineage, by what you accomplish and who you are, what you can be. So right now we give you one, yes? A new start. And you have picked up reading so well. So very proud of you. So I give you this name, Abu.
Abu. I like I like that name. Okay. So Ida is now Abu for
Abu.
the time being. And just spends all of her time like soaking it. They are a sponge. They are this like everything, just like all the different foods, like cannot. Yeah, Hafthor's like, I hate everything about this. And then Ida is just like, give me everything. So yeah. So she's a little bit blinded to that. All she is seeing that Anush is giving her is like all this freedom and this knowledge and everything.
Mhm.
And so it's easy for her right now to be a little bit blind to the darker edges. So right now she's just like, yay. And just kind of follows around, although I think she has. Does Ulf stay, or does Ulf kind of go off on his own?
Ulf is absolutely brokenhearted when he's left by his lord, um, and goes off on his own,
Wait, Oof.
not to be seen again.
Oof. Before
Mm.
you leave, I know you hurt. I know your heart must be in pieces. I feel this. But look around you. I think the best cure for a broken heart is to soak in all of this beauty. And a word of warning, if you do go off on your own, there is tale that this place might be overtaken soon. So be safe. Yes? Heal yourself. Maybe we see each other again.
Maybe we will.
And she gives him she's also did some whittling as like a way as like kind of a funny middle finger to Halfthor of like they had like competitions in the 3 weeks. And she's like, I'm gonna get better than Halfthor too. It's gonna be funny as hell. No, she and she's been like listening to stories like Ulf would tell stories of like the gods and like so she does not give him a likeness of Zeus because that is against the rules, but I think she does give him something reminiscent of Loki because of all the jokes and all of the comments that she was the child of Loki. So
Mhm.
that's something that they would have given to him as a token of like, and again she just says they just say be safe, thank you.
May your paths always lead to greatness. And he leaves.
Sad as
Ida.
shit.
Ida, there's somebody I want to introduce you to.
Okay.
I know Ida had a brother, so I would like to introduce to her my apprentice. This is uh, this is Al Ghazali. Yes, he studies under me, and our mentor, whom I don't know, can show up whenever he wishes. But you have shared with us your lineage. He is my kid brother, and I know he is days and nights smarter than I will ever be. And Al, this is Ida. I'm sorry, Abu.
Abu.
They shall be studying with us for a time. I think we have many exciting things to accomplish. Ib! Even, where are you? You stupid old man. Come out.
We gotta cut. We gotta cut. He clapped. We gotta cut.
The ghostly figure of Ibn Sina rises.
And Abu, this is a pain in my ass. This is even Sina. He died but didn't stay dead. Teach me everything I know.
Wide eyes, just
Yes.
terrifying.
You're looking at a ghost. A very grumpy looking ghost.
Absolutely taking it literally. This is really a ghost? Did you really die?
Hey, this is very literal, Abu.
Oh.
I stick my hand through him, you see? This is how I know anything is possible.
I. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
literal ghost.
All right. All right. The fuck, Cam. You can't just. Not enough. Not enough to be an immortal, unkillable thing. You gotta add fucking ghosts to it.
I got a
You
ghost
son
daddy.
of a bitch.
It's the quote of David, you son of a bitch. That's the quote.
This is literally, again, I feel like they're so opposite. Hathor wants to go fuck off on a farm and like was mad that he was drawn into like political machinations. And Anush is literally trying to create the political shenanigans that Hathor so desperately wanted to get out from under.
No.
No.
It's
Yeah?
just a little bit of imperialism. It doesn't hurt anybody.
It's okay, you know? Salam.
Ida is terrified. They are superstitious enough. They're like, this is a bad thing. Like, so they're going to be very quiet. They're going to be like, hello. Okay.
You should not be scared. He does not bite. Very hard. Stop that. Ah! Ah!
It's gonna turn into a bear.
Uh,
A shitty bear.
Oh no.
No,
oh
just kidding.
God! Oh no! My poor
Human,
little brother. My poor little
human
brother.
eyes.
No, 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 no. Oh, Ida, we got to show you what a real bear looks like.
I
Sure
heard
that it is.
stories once.
Well, if you look in the stars, you might be able to see one better formed than you are.
No bears up there.
Just lots of dots.
We will teach you. We will teach you. Yes, yes. I have plans. We will look into the stars together.
All right. Okay, so the days pass, then years, decades. Otto and Eadman are a team now, and in their travels, they keep in touch with everyone else, passing on updates and messages. They have a ship now, and no matter where on Earth you go, they always seem to show up at some point. They tell you tales. Vermund has grown up and become a traveling bard, making a living as an entertainer. Leofstan breeds and trains horses. Robert is Lord of Hastings now. Philomore continues his career in the English military. Askelin traveled to the Orient and has cloistered himself in a monastery there. Hild runs a public house in London, the Iron Rose, which she has declared a neutral meeting ground for all of you. Eadman claims to have seen Mirwine once in the waves, watching. After a few decades pass, there comes a point where you each realize you're not aging. Old age, that great nemesis to which all humans fall, is simply passing you by. Disease, likewise, seems never to touch you, which means that, short of death by violence, which doesn't even apply to one of you, you are immortal. Where are you when you realize this, and what do you do?
Before I answer that question,
Mm-hmm.
over these decades, what do I see happening to Anoush?
Anoush?
Well, I think in about 6 years' time, after the Turks have kind of invaded and taken things over, and I've kind of hitched my saddle to this other like up and coming Persian polymath, Umar Kayun. We have been tasked to build an observatory in a town called Ifahan. Um, and I think he's very much like engaged with his work. But I think like the first thing you notice is he stops teaching you and his little brother. And he very much like leaves then to Ibn Sina. Um, uh, Develops a method to like store like blood like between pieces of like crystal and like I, I think maybe like once or twice in about like 20 years you might see him like drawing his own blood and like placing it in the between these plates and keeping it like someplace secret. um but I think he just very much like this is the very serious side of Anoush that you didn't get to see. And whether that is because you didn't know him before Hastings or something has changed him after Hastings is unclear. Uh, but he works on his observatory and is mapping out one when this next event may come. And as the years go by, I think he realizes he will be there to see that event. So not only is he mapping the stars, but planning a journey.
I do I see you taking an interest in others like us, like the news that we get from Otto and Edmund, or is it really just focused on the heavens and
Could
Has
I?
it has it gone outside of you yet?
Can I ask her to make a roll?
Of course.
Did you make a notice or investigation roll?
Yeah, hell yeah. We do notice. It's not good. No, it's average.
I think what you don't see is a list of everybody's names and what they can do, and I have left space for more
Okay.
because I'm planning on being there at the next event and using what I have to, well, I guess we'll figure that out later.
In that case, they have studied um with Al, and I think and spent the time learning and growing and learning many languages, and like they are slowly becoming this thing that they never even imagined they could ever be. And the moment hits when they're at some whatever, like a cafe, like they're sitting down to have tea, and she sees lines in Al's face, and she they see they see maybe a single gray in a beard, and like, and it doesn't happen very often where they revert to Ida.
Mm.
They don't like Ida. They don't like that body. They don't like that person. But I think when they notice that night, for first time in a very long time, everything drops, and they're looking at a 20-year-old, at a face that they have almost forgotten what they look like. But even worse, they see Elric. They see their brother in the last time they ever saw him. So they break at that. And that's when they realize, they're like, "Oh, okay." And then as soon as that realization is made, Abu's back. Abu, of how many more names do they have now? I'm sure they've earned a couple more. It's not just the one name anymore, but they uh compose themselves and bring that back, and then tell Al the next morning, "I'm going on a journey. I will be in contact." And they go straight to Anoush and wherever he has said he was last, and just checks in. Very like, salam.
Salam, good morning to you as well. It is good to see your face, Abu.
It
It
is
has been so long.
it is very good to see your face, friend.
Now, I have a question for you.
Maybe I have an answer.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the way I look was never going to change, just because of what I am. But are you feeling it too? Has it all just stopped?
I drop. And you see
Ah,
this young girl that sold you a fish pie many, many, many decades ago.
hmm.
How long have you had your theories?
Well, to be fair, the minute I put my hands in the fire, I knew I was going
No,
to be like this forever. It's
that's
just
fair.
science. But I did not know about you until I just saw it. I
I
was
just
hoping.
I haven't. Edmund is still going. He was older. I mean, he's been going strong. I never even thought about it.
Hmm. I do believe if we think about it too much, it uh, it will not be good. I can't not help now think of the child.
Oh,
Like I said,
yeah.
let's just not think about it too much. No,
Oh,
uh, let me let me show you something.
okay.
I have built a temple of my own, and I lead her to uh, like the observatory room.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You look here, right here. You can see it all.
I think they go and look, and it's beautiful. It's uh and they still have that, you see that spark of wonder that is still very much Ida.
I have also come up with something else.
Okay.
A way to study us, a way to learn more about what we can do. We thought once we'd only be given one gift, but now we know we have at least two, for we can survive the ages. May I
Yes.
see your finger? This is okay. You trust me, yes?
Hmm.
Wait, what is this?
They hold
What is
they
this?
hold their I've known you too long, friend.
Yeah,
Yes.
uh, just a prick. I gonna take it like a small needle and just
Hmm.
prick her finger and put it in between the two crystal sheets.
Mm-hmm.
This is forever. And one day, once the world has caught up to us, we will be able to help everybody else.
I hope so.
I'm glad you hope so. I knew there was a good heart in you. You should put it in my pocket.
You you should visit Al.
Oh, yes, I should. It is, what, been so many years. I still write from time to time. It is just when time stands still for you, it is hard to realize how fast everything else moves. How old is he now?
How old would he be if he's decades old?
I think he was about like 12.
So he'd
So
be 50s, 60s?
maybe. Wow. Okay. If it's
He
that long.
is he is an old man.
Hmm. Old man. Yes, I shall see him soon.
You now, Anush, go. Get out of this tower.
Soon. Yes. Soon. Yes, I will make plans.
As
Right now, I will
as
make plans.
as your grand nieces and nephews say, touch grass, asshole.
Is that what the kids are saying these days?
It's
Touch
weird.
grass, asshole.
It makes no sense.
Totally.
No, no,
Ash news.
you, you
Oh, I
have
don't know.
you have family that have never met you.
Hmm. I will not lie to you. You're smarter than when. You're not smarter. You just know more. You're worldly, wise. You can make yourself look like them. But imagine if I saw him now. What is it they would think?
Do you honestly think he hasn't had some guesses? His own thoughts? He learned from you.
It is one thing to have your thoughts and guesses. It is another to see someone you love and know that they will watch you die. I cannot see that in his face. So I say this. Soon.
If not your family, go get out of here. Go see something real. You have been closed up too much, friend.
I am planning a journey. You do not worry. It will be epic.
What would I roll to see what he might be thinking for that? Like what that
Empathy.
means. Empathy. Still don't have it. Don't have it. Not empathetic at all. But we're gonna try.
Are we sure it's not maybe being one of the last rolls a rapport roll?
Don't
Eh.
have that either. Don't have that either. No, I have no idea. Um, I I have been thinking of taking a journey myself.
Oh, yes? Where shall you go?
There is an old friend that has been on my mind, especially with this knowledge that we now have. So,
Ah, I wonder where he is. Probably some place where he doesn't have to wake up early.
and somewhere cold.
Yes, all those furs.
He really liked fur.
You have to keep your weapons somewhere.
That's true. Come with me.
Here's the thing. I am the only one left to keep this place going. Umar died a long time ago. I do not know how, but he is gone. I fear if I leave, all will be lost. And I will have to start over again.
Sounds like we've got plenty of time, though.
Not as much time as you would think. But I will say this. Pagan,
You finally got his name right.
it has been years, decades. I still call him Parrish from time to time.
Haha.
Pagan comes in.
Will you give Abu something for their travels? Something that will take them far.
Well, sure.
Yes. Anything you wish. Anything they wish. And that will be a piece of me that can go with you. Oh, also, we must give something to our friend. Yes, a gift. Something he will like. What do you think?
Do you have any salted fish?
Oh, hell. Oh, my. Yes, it is all he eats, this giant man. Fish, salt, fish, salt. I say eat fruits, eat berries. He says, "Ugh." But, uh, there is something I've been working on. No, I'm going to go to a drawer, and pull out a beautiful wooden rocking horse. uh, and underneath it, I have carved the word Thor.
Oh,
For I know, and I hope one day he will be whole. I give that to you.
I will tell you what he says if I find him.
Of course. Bring him here. It is probably much better where he is, freezing to death.
We'll find out. They look at Pagan, who they've had after all this time have a just a tenuous truce of just all right, we're stuck with each other. Take care of each other. Keep an eye on that one.
I don't know.
Hey,
Nobody else is gonna.
Your eyes, they move. Like you. Who are you
make
talking to? Me or him?
make this one. You.
He's
He's,
me?
he's gotta watch. He's gotta
Oh
watch
my
you.
goodness.
Just make
Oh
sure
my
he
goodness.
leaves. Make sure he sees the sun.
I see the
He's
sun all the
looking.
time.
You're looking paler than I was,
That is impossible.
which is very worrisome.
Ugh. Maybe I go to the garden.
Um, and Ida goes and probably by way of Otto and Edmund tries to find whatever news there is of Hafthor and goes to find him. So
All right.
yeah.
Hafthor, what's going on with you?
So I think he, much like his new friends had suspected, went north to find somewhere cold. He probably made his way up through Turkey, Belarus, and thought Russia, and sort of like still like odd jobs here and there, right? To obviously like pay for his whatever food or lodging kind of thing, doing like work for hire type stuff, stopping farm to farm, whatever kind of things he could get into. He also left most of his weapons. He keeps his dagger, and he's got this like long. It's somewhere between like a short sword and a large knife. Is like the only thing he's like really kept.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes from place to place, and he starts seeing that there are Roberts everywhere, and that there are Oswulfs everywhere, and that in every county or parish or town, and in the cities, there's swarms of them. These men who just want to like take and take and cannot live unless their boot is on the neck of those below them. And this causes him to first spiral deeper into his grief, right? And he's pretty much drunk for like 3 years as he makes his way to Russia because he heard of that they had vodka was invented in 1174.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere around the 1180s, he's like, oh, they got some real good stuff. And he heads to Russia. And then there, because as much as he thinks he wants to fuck off, and maybe even wants to, he knows he needs to stand up against those guys. And he starts going from town to town after he kills the first one and has to flee. And then he goes a few hundred miles away. Doesn't settle in this time and says, well, I got away with it last time. Like, this place will be better without this Robert or this Oswulf. And then like a legend. There's a weird like curse, right, of like these like local people dying very suddenly of what would later eventually be discovered as brain aneurysms, right? Are described as brain aneurysms.
Mm-hmm.
People just dropping dead and people seeing that as a sign from God. And then I think about 15, so I guess that would be, what was it, 1066, right? Mm-hmm. So we're, I don't know, 30 years later. Mm-hmm. So a few years into that, though, he starts hearing that those towns, another Robert just came up. Another Oswulf just came up. And sometimes they ended up happy for years. 2, 3, 5, 10 years. But there was always another. And it drives him. And he has a 30-year period of just mourning and anger and grief. And all the while still trying to get better at woodworking. And I think he eventually gets good enough that he wants to go to Denmark. But he thinks he's still scared. He also realizes disgusted. Like part of his grief and this like cycle of self-abuse, if you will, is that he realizes how afraid of Robert he is, and hates himself for that. So instead of going to Denmark, he goes to Finland because he feels like another body of water away might be enough. And I think there is probably the first time he sees. Who did you say was the one that goes port to port? Otto?
Yeah.
Otto. I think that's probably the first place he meets Otto. And it obviously at this time he's realized he's not aging. So he's, yeah, probably maybe one of the times he like went back. I would say like sometime around when the second or third time he had like killed one of those people and then went back to the original town to try to make like a contact, and he realized that the hand that reached across to like shake his hand again was frailer and the skin was thinner and there was maybe a couple of wind scarring spots across the eyes, and he realized that, and that was also part of why he kept going town to town. But yeah, he sees Otto in Finland, and he tries to stay away though. Tries to like not really. He doesn't want him to know he's in Tabs, so he probably tells Otto he's going to head towards. I don't know. Probably he's going to head towards. Oh, that he heard that there's monsters in Africa, in a new continent called Africa, and he wants to hunt these beasts with large horns and big teeth. And he tries to put on a show that he's like very happy and just ready to discover life, that is, he feels a freedom. And then he just goes fucks off in the woods for another 20 years and becomes a very well-known woodworker. He makes rocking chairs and boats. Probably tries to eventually squeeze in and get like some land like on the water so that he could fish. So he's got like a little farm, and he comes and he spends 2 or 3 days out in the water, does some large boat fishing, has a crew. It's very secretive though, and he like the way he works around it is that he says he has family elsewhere, and then every like 5 years or so he just like comes back and he's like, I'm his other son, and fires everybody except for like one guy he can trust, who's like his new wolf. And he so every like 5 years or so they just fire everyone, say the company shut down, and then they like 6 months later hire a new crew, and then they keep doing that cycle.
All right.
And he thinks every day of how, and he eventually gets sober, and so these thoughts, as his brain becomes clearer and more present, his thoughts become more and more consumed with Robert, and knowing that if he's still alive, Robert's still alive, and that the danger he thought he was running from, he can't outrun, and he's scared because he doesn't know what to do about it.
All right.
And I think one day you're sitting out and fishing. I just imagine just like sitting out on a pier with like your little camp chair.
By the way, he has a full bear pelt when you do come up, because he in Russia found a real bear.
A real bear.
And I think they have traveled and changed their face, and as they've gone and found you and all these things, but the person that sits beside you is Ida.
Oh.
They just look at you and smile. You found a good place.
I think he grabs your hand, and in both of his hands. It's so good to see you.
You have been missed.
And he pulls his like hood up. And he says, "This is what a real bear looks like."
Listen, I've seen bears now. It's been a while. It's been so long. Quite a few years. And you notice like a lilt to her voice, which is very reminiscent of our friend Anoush. You
Yeah.
know, that's where they've learned. They learned English again through this accent. Um, and they just kind of laugh at that. Yeah, they're laughing. I have a gift, and they pull out this little rocking horse and hand it over to you. One last jab from well, not even a last jab. Hopefully you see him soon, but uh after so many
We will.
years, a joke from our friend Anoush. He was so
Yeah.
good at
I
making them.
I think Hathor also, in his own way, right, like through myths and legends, maybe not necessarily through so much through like library books, but all throughout the Eastern Europe, learned about recurring large celestial bodies and these um, maybe even, I don't know if you want me to roll for it, but maybe even people who were also changed, um, or were potentially people who never died or whatever, right?
No, there's no one yet.
No one else yet. Okay, so yeah, I think he just learns about the and also I think he eventually would figure out that if enough cultures have seen this and talk about like the cycle of, right, the idea of like it's going to come again, is realizing that like he's gonna destiny is going to draw them together. And he says, yeah, I don't think it's the last jab. I have, but I think I can give him one just as good.
Um,
Um, Perhaps a chair like me and you are sitting in, and you're sitting in rocking chairs. And he's like, I made these.
this is very good, which is a very Anoush thing to say. This is very good.
It doesn't.
This is very
It
good.
doesn't. It doesn't look like a cat or a horse, but it does the job.
Um, look, look at the stomach. Look at the horse's stomach. He says that one day he hopes that you uh, are whole because it just says Thor on the bottom, carved into the bottom. So that's good there. And um, but then they do get serious. Um, I can only imagine. Actually I can't even imagine what you have been going through these years. And I'm sorry that I wasn't strong enough to go with you. Um, there is another reason why I am here. I'm worried. Uh,
While you're saying this, you see Halfdor pull out an ancient leather pouch. Um,
Same pouch.
Same one,
She's like,
and he pops a couple, and he looks at you. Yeah,
oh, of course, and takes it, takes one. Um, Taking on Anoush mannerisms is not on purpose; is just intrinsic now. Um, uh, I now that all this time has passed, I'm seeing things that I think maybe you saw th- all those years ago. Anoush has built an amazing observatory. He is driven.
I have heard.
It's beautiful. Um, it is a wonder. I would recommend seeing it. But
Well,
he's
I think you're educated to know that there are wonders of the world, and then there are wondrous things. It is not a wonder,
oh,
just to be,
all right,
pedantic.
all right.
I think you know what that word means
I
now.
do, and also don't be a dick. Like I'm smart enough to know when you're being a little asshole. Okay, chill. No, but he's you know how focused he would get, how focused he was.
So you're saying Anush went home and built a castle, a fortress.
I'm saying he. I think it's more than that. I'm saying he built a weapon, almost. he has lost contact with almost all reality. And he said he's getting ready to go on a journey. While I am educated, I am not anywhere near where he is, but I can only imagine that he has been looking to see if this might be if what had happened to us might repeat itself.
How long are we at now? 50 years, you said, I think, or something like that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
because I think you had said like 40 or 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decades and
When you
decades.
had
Yeah.
left. When you had left.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's right. I didn't learn from books. Before there were books, right? As you know, as you did, as you learned, we passed knowledge through word, from storyteller to child to storyteller to child to storyteller to child, and so on and so forth. And I think through all those stories, through all those myths, there was truth. And I'm old enough now to know that the gods aren't real, but maybe that you, as I once upon a time called you as a child of Loki, maybe Loki was just like you. Maybe one day, 10,000 years ago, Halley's Comet spit some magical stuff. Sorry, Halley's Comet's not named yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
The God
maybe
Rock?
10,
The God
10
Rock came
sorry,
by?
maybe 10,000 years ago, some celestial body spit some rocks onto the ground, and a man, could be a woman, could be a horse, could be a wolf, and that turned into a man who doesn't die, turned into some sort of god, became Loki. And maybe one day your story will be the same. But I agree. We never talked too much about what happened in that church. You never talked too much about why me and Anush were fighting so hard when we came back that night. We kind of just went to sleep and got up and left. I saw the first thing that scared me, probably more than anything has ever scared me, is Robert knew I was coming. It was as good as a plan as anybody could have. And there's no reason to suspect us coming back, which is why I did it. It would be stupid. It would be foolish. It would be the craziest thing you could do. And it is the reason I did it, because it would be the least expected. And he looked me in the eyes through that window, and I knew that I had met my match. And then the second thing that has scared me more than anything is that I saw later, when Anush was begging him for answers, two men willing to do anything to anyone at any cost for the pursuit of power. Anush may call it knowledge, but it is power that he seeks. And I don't know what edge of the razor he will fall on, what side of the fence he will land. But I can only hope that he's not another Robert. But I do see the potential.
You can see now why I came to you.
Yeah.
I think we can, of anybody, the two of us together might be able to sway him in the right direction.
I think you might be right.
It's a lot to ask for, but I ask you to come with me and
God, it's so fucking hot there.
I know, listen.
It's so hot.
Listen, but they've got just the best just this really like really refreshing like dessert and drink. It's so light. It's so good. It's not
Have you had vodka?
I have had
Have you had
vodka.
spirit?
It's
Oh, it's so good.
like what were we
Burn, so
drinking?
good.
What were we doing?
I know they. God, England has only gotten worse too. It's like a whole country with a stick up its ass.
It's listen, there's a lot of feelings I have about that as the history as the person from there. Bad, real bad. But all right, will you come with me?
Yeah, I've I've dawdled long enough. I think I think if you can do something, you should do something. And if I could help, make sure our friend Anoush is an opposing force to Robert, as opposed to a similar one. I should do it. Is Pagan still around?
He is uh Legion Lord.
Interesting. Interesting. Has he
He's
collected anybody else?
no. No.
That's good. That's good.
He's I saw him before I came here. He did this strange thing where he took some of my blood and he put it between two crystals, and he said that it's like they were pressed flat together, almost like the two crystals were it was a binding. They were held together with my blood, and he said it was forever.
Can I roll a history check to see if I remember? Or I guess I don't know. I don't think he would forget when Anoush cut his hand open and stuck it on her open wound, and it
Yeah, I'm sure
kind
you
of
remember
healed.
that.
Yeah, he's speaks as he always did about what
When
could
he
we
did
do,
that,
what could our bodies do.
when he did that, did he do it quickly? Did it seem like he's done it many times before?
It's Anoush. He
Was it a practiced hand?
it was it was.
I think we need to hurry back.
But first, and she's like, let's like drink. Like we can't. It's getting
Yeah,
dark. Let's hang out, man.
yeah, let's do it.
Just leans against the bear. Just yay, friendship.
Ooh, I got a big boat now too. It's a good. It's a real good. I got a crew. I got a whole crew. We don't have to do anything.
Amazing. It's very good to see you, friend.
I named it Ulf.
Oh.
He missed you greatly. Not to make you feel bad or anything, but that was kind of a shit move, dude.
Yeah, I think as much as it hurt, Ulf needed to know that there was life outside of me,
he left
and
he left
I hope he
soon
found it.
after he left soon after you did.
I hope he found it.
Me too.
Let's get fucked up.
Let's go.
All right, you get fucked up, and you head back to Persia.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Journey back. And once we get back into more familiar, Ida's like, okay, changes into Abu. This is who I've been living as for like the last forever. Like I've made myself look older, like so I don't like so I can really fit in. My name's Abu here. This is how it goes. Just so you know.
Yeah, I think you see. Uh, 'Cause again, there's probably only like one quarters, so Hafthor offers to like share it with you, and maybe one time by accident or something, right? Came in when he was changing, and you see somebody whose body is wrecked, like covered in scars, like the collective of three generations of people fighting in unnecessary fights. There looks like there's like animal wounds as well as like dagger and like cuts to the ribs and slashes on the arms. And I think this time too, Hathor really enjoys the trip because he's not sad. And he's like, "Oh, this wine is so good.
Listen,
It's so much better than anything they drink up there.
right? There's flavor. Things have
This
flavor.
is wine. They shouldn't even call that wine. It's not the same thing.
No,
It is a different. It
it
is divine.
it's been a
This must have. This is the first thing that fell from the space, from the heavens.
absolutely. There's a reason why. There's a whole thing about it being the drink of the gods. Okay, like this is great. Yeah, and they travel to the observatory, leading them there. Um, it just goes straight there. Like that was like doesn't even stop, doesn't go anywhere. Like does not pass go, does not collect $200. We're going to the observatory.
Yeah, that's like a 9 month journey, though. By the
Yeah,
way, from like Denmark to. So we spent a lot of time catching up,
yeah. Like oh, it's the
telling
same.
every story.
Yeah,
I told you the truly like Hathor became imaginative in the ways that he was like killing people. So like a couple times it was like yeah, and he was given this speech in the middle of the town square about how he was going to find out who's been taking the food stores and giving it to the needy, and then he just dropped dead. And then I actually I shit you not, I shouted in the crowd, "This is a sign from God!" And then they burned his body. It was crazy.
did you? But have you ever said we're all the priest?
I can't top that one yet. Can't top that. That
Never.
was
Call back. So in yeah, after a 9 month journey, did we make it to Anoush, or is he gone?
What year is it?
1066 to let's call it 51 years. So that would be what, 1017 or 1117?
Uh, I think the observatory.
Or is that too far?
The observatory. I guess when Ida left, looked like it was like closed to the public. Like it looked like it had been like abandoned and closed because after the fall of the Sultan, like 20 years back, they lost funding to it. But Anoush had been like holed up in there and has been keeping it alive. And so I think Hathor, as you look at it, it looks like nobody's there. But you just have to go in to find out.
Ida
Is this the
just
place?
it is. We'll see. And yeah, she makes her way. They make their way in, and
Follow the bond?
yeah.
Oh, friends, come in. I am up here. Pagan, you get them something to drink, something to eat.
Of course.
We have the salted fish, no?
What? I thought we were going to do cucumber salad.
Oh my goodness! Thank the Lord. Okay, yes, get them anything they want.
I think Ida would have been like, "We're bringing vodka. We're bringing him vodka. We don't care that he doesn't drink alcohol. We'll pretend it's water. Let's give him some booze. Try this water, this Russian water."
I smell it.
Russian
You know,
water.
it's a good drink, but I cannot have this.
I told you it wasn't going to work.
Oh well.
It smells like it would kill me, and you can't do that.
Oh, we could try. No, just kidding. Yeah.
Okay,
It doesn't. It makes you feel more alive than you've ever felt,
Mhm.
but the next morning it makes you feel like death.
Well, you should try cutting your head off. It's a joke. It's a joke. You can laugh.
Hathor does not think that's funny, but he laughs.
It is what,
Hathor is alarmed.
what a blessing to has fallen upon me that I have both of you here in my space.
Yeah, it's been far too long. I've missed you.
I
I
have.
think
I've missed you as well, my friend, and you look well worn.
it has been an eventful few decades.
I might have something for
You
that.
look the same.
And it is a blessing and a curse, you know?
If you have some sort of magics that can heal, do you have magics that can maybe get rid of some of these runes? I do not think some of your countrymen. What is the word? It is not halal, and
You don't have
I'm
to worry
a
about them.
little worried about some of the looks.
I do not have something physical for you, but I
Oh,
I
I
might be
have
able to
something for
teach you
you.
something. What? Oh, something for me.
And Halfthor pulls out because he eventually figured out what he can't do with his hands, he can do with his mind, and has learned to use telekinetics to make stuff that is far more detailed than it should be for the time, and hands you a horse that is a perfect copy, a one for one. It's just obviously a different wood. I don't know what you would like, cypress or something, whatever. And this is more of like a fir Douglas, right, or something like that from the region. This is for you.
You know, if I did not know my trees, I would say you were giving me a gift back. But I do
I
love
would
it.
never.
I know you would not. I look it over. Ah, even the very tricky. I will put this here, and I just like put it like near like a just a clutter of like notes and
It's like
scrollings and scrolls.
a dusty ass like pile of notes and scrolls
It is
and
perfect right there. I look at it all the time. Have you come to see what I've been working on?
yeah, I have.
Good, good. You know, the last operator of this place did not care for prophecy, but as we know, there's some truth to it. Yes? I, like I have done before, I might have found out where it will come next. Could be wrong.
Oh, you know where,
And when, my
not
friend,
just when.
I
I know
know
you would have known when.
it
I
is
do not
taken
think you would know where.
a long time, but if my calculations are correct, we may be able to find it. What do you say?
Has Pagan become your assistant? And I look to Pagan, like say that to him.
Pagan is whatever he wants to be.
I like to think of myself as a man of the town.
While he says that, I would like to go in and see, glean information about the relationship between Pagan and Anoush.
He speaks a completely different language when you're around, in his mind.
Interesting. Yeah, I think Anoush would have tried to learn something, but there was nobody
Oh
around for
yeah.
him to find. And he wasn't even sure what language he spoke, so I was very frustrated by that. Okay, yeah, and so he puts that away.
I will say that absolutely over the few decades it's been, Ida has 100% turned into a snake to scare him. Just to really when he really annoys her, she's just like,
So, where and when do we travel?
It will be for some time, but take a look. I'm gonna show you the stars, baby. Exactly. My cat's
This
got it.
is. Are you showing me through the observatory, or are you showing me like a
Yes.
mapped out? Okay.
I'll show you through the observatory. It's best to see it with your own eyes, not through someone else's.
What am I? What are we looking
Don't you see?
at?
It
I
is beautiful.
see. It looks bright.
Soon, one of those will fall.
That's what fell. That doesn't look red.
It. Oh, there is many things I can teach you, my friend. The first is this. You say you do not want people to see your markings. Yes?
I think it would be best. I think it would be best to get rid of them.
In a long time, I have been thinking about you and Abu and what you can do. I think you might be able to do something very similar to them.
I don't. Would Ida have told Hathor they go by Abu now?
As soon as they got
Okay,
into,
got it.
yeah,
Okay, got it.
when they changed, as soon as they got to the place
When
where
they started having
Abu,
more. Okay, oh, okay, and then you've been using that.
I've been, yeah, because
Got it.
I
Okay.
have entree into places as this person. So,
Got it.
yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to reach into more than one mind at a time? Not fully, but just enough to change the way people see things around them.
Never more than one person.
Well, now is the perfect time to practice. There are three of us here. I want you to think about how you want to look in front of us. Show us what you can be.
Okay, I think Hathor imagines his father, which to him is still like something happens, right? When someone dies when you're young and they're like sort of immortalized in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks of his father as like still what we would call like a superhero.
And is this a will check, a roll that you make?
Yeah.
I would like to give you the help, if I can.
I would like to invoke, talk about a callback, fascinated by Anush aspect.
Awesome.
Okay. That's my one guy for today. My one little soldier. Okay, so what was that? Will. That's right. Okay. It's a +2 or +1.
Ida
So and then
also, to
+2
give
and then
help,
+2. So
would
4. Oh geez, 5.
Ida would give help as well by just like reaching out and holding his hand and just squeezing it and just like watching.
We're off the charts or +9 with Abu's help.
Okay.
So you look like your dad to us. Is that what happens?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think so. I think it's only one mind at a time, and like I don't even know if that's like something you do based on my sheet.
With the power of friendship, we don't need sheets anymore.
Okay. So you project that into their minds. You're not able to connect with two people at once. It doesn't work for you.
Got it. Yeah. With that, it's not a problem. We'll figure it out.
I think we
I
keep
think we
working
just
on it. Yes?
yeah. I think you said we have time,
I think it might
and so
be
we'll use the time.
not about reaching out to people at the same time, but maybe how fast you can change to affect other people's mind so that it is imperceptible. Yes?
Perhaps.
I mean, we have all the time in the
And
world
then,
to work on it.
yeah, while he says that, I want to peek into his real quick.
Can I
We're
contest
good.
that?
And you're also speaking a different language in your brain.
It's a fake language that me and Pagan have made up together. Yes.
Another little tick, and I think with that he Hafthor flows into the what is natural for him now state of I'm just gonna blend in and try to put like a facade up as to not give Anush any more than he needs to as they venture into the unknown.
And Eda says, enough talk of all of this. We're showing Half-Thor how great this place is. We're leaving. Let's go. And she like
To the
drags them
orgy!
out. Yay.
All right. A lot happens in the next few centuries. The Black Death, the Magna Carta, the Ottoman Empire, the Peasants' Revolt, the People's Crusade, the Mongol invasion of Persia, the Great Famine. Many times having to upend lives when immortality is noticed or soon will be noticed by those around you. Seeing friends, family, loved ones die of old age. But then, let's say around the mid 14th century is when Anush finally gets it fully. When he knows exactly when and where it's going to be. So mid 14th century, plague has swept the lands from Cairo to London and wiped out half of Europe's population while it was at it. 100 Years' War between England and France is getting started in a big way. Even Scotland's getting into it. China and Korea are beginning to reject Mongol rule. The Aztec Empire is in its heyday. Tennis has just been invented in England. It's a crazy life. And that's when, Anush, you get that image of the stars, exactly how it's going to be at a certain place, at a certain time, coming up. And in that moment, you know what the next part of your life is going to be like. And that is where we're going to end our session. Thank you for joining us, viewers. The Heroes of Hastings will return in Halley's Children, Belgrade.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye for now.
No,
I'm so creepy. God damn
you are very creepy.
it.
Hafthor spent 200 years trying to learn a fake language,
Yeah, dog.
word by word.